Good morning, everybody. Today, as you can see, I'm starting the prep to get all my supports installed for when I plant, transplant, and seed my summer seedlings, my summer crops. So that's pretty much my day today. I'm just getting everything set up, putting my tomato stakes in, got a trellis for the cucumbers. I got my hoops for the strawberry bed, my bean teepees, all of that stuff. That's what my plan is to do today. And for now, the bugs are very interested in the camera in my phone, but not so much for me. But I do have, you know what, let me turn you around and I'll show you what I've got. All right, so these are my hoops that I'm going to be adding to the strawberry bed. I cover it with netting just to prevent the birds really from getting to them. And they're already blooming, so I better get this stuff installed quick. I've got my tomato stakes. I use these metal stakes to hold up my. I grow primarily cherry tomatoes. I have 4 large size tomatoes, buffalo steak tomatoes, and these are going to go in this bed. But I grew more tomatoes than I normally could fit in that bed. I usually do. That's a 2x8. I usually do 16 plants, but I have more. So I'm tempted to pop in extra tomatoes, possibly in this bed. This was supposed to be cucumbers and melon, but I'm kind of on the fence because I already have like really healthy looking tomato starts. So I'm debating whether to just do half and half, like half my extra tomatoes and then half cucumbers, and then just put my melon plant to the side because I haven't been successful for the past couple of years. But I'll see. Once I get to that point, I might go up on my deck. You could probably see my starts. Can you? No, you can't. Hold on. Let me move over here so you can see them. They're out there. You can kind of see them there. They're right there on the deck, hardening off, and they're looking really good. And I hate to toss them. I'm not going to. Why would you toss extra tomatoes? Having too many tomatoes is not a problem I'm going to be upset with. All right, so these are the stakes I use for my tomatoes. I have used these in the past. If I do need extra, I have some. I also use these to set up my bean teepees, and that's my other dilemma. So normally, let me get my bearings. So what I used to do, last year, I had my bean teepees in this bed. Obviously, the garlic is there, so they're going to be there until at least mid-July. So I'm not going to be able to use this bed. Potatoes are there for a while. Peas, I don't want to prematurely pull my peas to put my beans in, so that's going to stay there. All of my fruit bushes are permanent, so I can't use those. The carrots they're going to be there for a while, so I don't want to use that one either. That's green onions and turnips back there. So I was debating whether to use. Now, normally I plant my bean teepees over top of my lettuce bed because the lettuce can handle some shade once the beans start to, actually vine up and start leafing out, which takes a while, right? So I'm debating, I'm probably going to put it in this bed, put them in here. And I'm just careful. Like I put the feet of my teepees in the corner around the lettuce. And on this one too, let me get out of the way there. And in this one too. Now I've got some lettuce seedlings here, but lettuce actually does better in the shade anyway, like if it's got a little bit of shade once the summer heat starts. So I think I've convinced myself. I think I'm going to put them in this bed and leave everything else as is. I was debating on whether to use this one because this is fast growing stuff that I'm going to be harvesting fairly soon, spinach and arugula, but the onions are going to be there for a while. And then that's radish. So if the onions weren't there, I could probably have used this bed following that same method, like spinach and arugula. They can handle a little bit of shade once the beans start to leaf out, and they're actually very, very quick. But I think I'm going to just do it over in the lettuce bed. Sorry, I'm sharing my thought process. I was debating. I've been thinking about this for a while, trying to figure out, since I changed stuff around compared to last year, where I was gonna put my bean teepees. Anyway, it's all good. Look at the potatoes, you guys. They look so good. They look great. I'm really excited about these. Anyway, let me get started. I'm going to, I don't know where I'm going to start. I think I'll probably just start with the strawberry bed because that's super easy. And then I'll get my my first batch of tomato stakes in, and then see how many more extra tomato plants I have, and then decide what I'm doing over here. If I'm doing half with the extra tomatoes and half cucumber, I'll see. We'll play it by ear. So here we go. All right, so what I do with these, I essentially just create like a little hoop house. And then I drape some netting over it, which I've conveniently left in the garage. I forgot to bring it out, but it's all good. This is not the tough part, but this is the main part that I wanted to get done today. Work with me, people. And it's really just to keep the birds out of the strawberry bed. There we go. Doesn't have to be perfect. And it comes with this netting. I'll bring it out later. You just drape it over and you clip it to these hoop things. These are plastic. You kind of assemble them, connect them together. What's in here? Oh, there is a rod in the middle of this bed. Let me come over. There we go. That's better. What am I hitting there? Oof. My hoops are coming apart. Are they? Not too bad. All right. Let's try that again. Hitting something there. There we go. Good enough. And it's just enough so that something to hold the netting. I can't get over how many strawberry babies grew out. And I'm trying to remember if I did it in the fall or if I did it in the spring. A lot of little babies rooted, and I just detached them from the mother plants. I had 4 main strawberry plants in here. And then I just let a lot of the babies root in so that we'll have more plants. All right, I'll go get the netting later, but that's it for now. And all I'm going to do is drape it over, clip it in place, and attach the netting on the sides into the edge here with little staples. All right, one job done. Let me get my bean teepees going. That's over here. Come on this side for the bean teepees. I think I'll bring you on this side. And I'm not planting or seeding anything today because it's still, this is really bright. We're going to go for it. I'm going to come up like this. All right. And I'm not planting today because our nights for the next couple of days are still going to be under 10. And that's not safe for summer annuals. I'm just picking my 4 stakes per teepee. I use bamboo stakes. They're really affordable. They're not expensive. You can buy them at like any hardware store, Home Depot or anything like that. 2, 3, 4. These things are indestructible. I've had them. I'm trying to find 4 of about the same height. Give me a minute, you guys. And I've had these for, hold on, let me think back. 2000 and, I'm trying to remember when we moved to the house, before we moved to this house. 2010? 2013, I think. Okay, so these 4 look about the same height. Okay, so just so you see what I'm what I'm doing. Hold on a second. And I'm going to start at the far end. And all I'm doing is you're basically creating a pyramid. Whoops. So I'm going to just put them in. And I have a couple of seedlings there, so I'm just going to be careful where I put them. And we're basically going to attach them in the middle. And I think what I'll do, I'm going to go, I could technically leave the lettuce there and put a teepee here. I wonder if I should do that. You know what? I'm going to do that instead. And then leave that lettuce there. And I'm going to connect these like this with my trusty plastic twist ties. And I mentioned this last year when I did this process last year. I have these 2 twist ties, like a whole bag of these things. Let me show you on camera so you can see what I'm talking about. I have these things. Can you see that? These little twist tie things the tie wraps. Not twist ties, tie wraps. I bought a huge bag. There's like 100 in them, but I use 2 per year. So hold on, let me just make sure you can see what I'm doing. And all I use them for, oh yeah, you can't see what I'm doing. You know what, I'm going to bring you over here. Not that it's a very complicated process, you guys, but I do want you to see what I'm doing. All right. So first off, I basically put them in a square, and I have lettuce seedlings there, but by the time the beans even germinate and grow, they'll have plenty of time to establish. And then I'm going to attach them, these 4 stakes at the top here, with my trusty twist ties. I've got like a lifetime supply. If I only use 2 per year, these are going to last me forever. And that is it. And these bamboo stakes, I have had them for many, many years now. They look a little weathered, but all they do is hold up my beans. And this is solid, like this isn't going anywhere. And they're sturdy enough to hold bean vines, so that's not a problem. And now I'm debating whether to put my other teepee here, or should I go put them in the bed where I know I'm going to be harvesting that arugula and that spinach very soon. You know what? I'm going to try something different this year. I'm going to go over there. Let's go. So the next part to this, actually, you know what? I should do a full one, and then you'll see one from end to end. Okay, so next step is to get string, twine, anything of that nature. Bear with me. I use like kitchen string, whatever I have on hand. Kitchen string, twine, whatever works. And then I start with tying one end at the bottom here. I'm surprised the black flies are already gone. It was only about a week, maybe 2. And I have a little bit of bug spray on, but I don't have to wear my net. Okay, and then once, which I'm happy for, because it's really aggravating to try to work in the garden when you've got friends buzzing around your head. Okay, so I tie it here, I loop it around the bottom, and then I just make my way around and just keep following that same process. This is an old marigold from, you know what, let me just grab it. I'll be planting marigolds in the beds. That's the other batch of seedling. Oh yeah, that I've got hardening off on the deck. So once I do a full turn, I go up, I don't know, about 6 to 8 inches, and then keep going. And it doesn't have to be exact, you guys. Like, this is, the beans know what they have to do. This is just a bit of a guide. Again, so once I get to this one, I go up a level. The beans know what they have to do. And you'd be surprised, like, they barely, honestly, like, most of the time they use the stakes. I've never seen them, like, on occasion they'll use the string, but I prefer to have it there for them to use if they need it than not having anything at all. And I kind of, maybe it helps with the structure of the teepee just to give it some more stability. I don't know, but I've been doing it like this for years, and my little bean pyramids end up like Cousin It from the Addams Family. You don't even see the teepees by the end of the season. They're full of bean leaves, and they look amazing. Hold on, I think I might have lost. Hold on a second. Make sure that you can still see what I'm doing here. Almost lost you. Hold on. Getting to the top. All right. So I will keep going. And I'll show you what I do once I get to the top here. Like, once you get up here, it's not really. And then I'm just going to give myself some extra slack. I'm going to cut off the end. And then I'm just going to tie myself like a good knot up here. It's a beautiful day, you guys. And this is just like a regular knot, like you normally tie if you're tying your shoes. It's just so that it doesn't unravel. Another one. All right. And then I just adjust. Make sure everything looks all right. If it's a little bit loose in places, don't worry about it. It's fine. So let's take a look at what we're looking at. Here's my fancy bean trellis. They've served me well. It's all good. So that's one. And then I'm going to do the other one over here. Now, I'm tempted. I'm either going to do it here or here. I'm probably going to harvest the arugula first, but I feel like that might be too close to the onions. I don't think I'm supposed to plant beans with onions, so I think I'll put them over here on this side here where the spinach is, and just be careful. Is it onions I'm not supposed to plant beans with? No, I think that was onions and potatoes. Can't plant onions and potatoes. And my future plan for this bed was just to have more greens growing here. So this should be fine. Yep, I'm gonna put it where the spinach is, because I'm gonna start harvesting that soon. And spinach is a cool weather crop. It doesn't do well once it gets hot, which is when the beans are gonna thrive. All right, let me put you over to the side, and we're gonna do the same thing with teepee number 2. I'm gonna go pick my stakes. Let me maybe come closer. All right, let me go find 4 more stakes of about the same size, and we'll put the second teepee together. And we're going to do the same thing. So, and I'll be careful here where I put my little teepee corner. Should I put it on this side or this side? I'm going to put it up here. Not to interfere with the spinach, with what's growing, because I will. And, worst case, I'll harvest this one when it's time to seed my beans, which will be in a few days. I have to wait until nights get above 10. And right now the days are about 15, 16, 17. We had a couple of 20s a few days ago. However, the nights are still going down to like 6 Celsius, which is too cold for annuals. Am I going to be able to do this? Yeah. All right, let me go get my tie wrap thing. All right, and we're going to pop you up here so you can see what I'm doing. All right. Yeah, so we've been getting like 6 degrees, and that's just not, I mean, I know some people probably have planted already, but I don't know. I'm in no hurry, right? Woo. This one is giving me issues. Hold on. Let me plant it on an angle. There we go. All right. Like I'm in no hurry, especially for beans and things like that. My tomatoes can handle like a few more days inside. I am hardening them off. They've been hardening off for about a week now. So in a couple of days, nights are going to be good. And I'll be planting everything outside. That's like part 2. That's probably going to be the next video after this one. So this is good. Let me go grab the string. And then we'll install teepee number 2. And I'll move you down so you can watch the play-by-play from down here. Yeah, and I typically never wait. Like, I don't wait until my bed is empty to start planning for the next crop. Just because by the time the beans even germinate, because I'm seeding them directly, so I'm direct sowing. So by the time they actually germinate and grow and start climbing the trellis and getting leaves that would provide shade, the spinach is done. Like we'll have been harvesting by then. So I'm not too worried about it. All right, same process. Tie it with a knot at the bottom of one stake. Actually, I'll give them a little bit of room to grow. And then once this side grows, anything that's going to be close to the string at the bottom, I will harvest those first. Just not to impede them too much. But, like if you think about plants that grow in nature, they make their way. They know what to do. They'll just grow around whatever obstacle is there. And then go up a level. And it's not even tedious. It's not difficult to do this. And I find it really cost effective. I mean, these stakes, you can get them for like a couple of bucks at the hardware store, at the garden center, but not. They come in packs usually. I don't know if they sell them individually. I think I've only seen them in little packs of 6 or so. But they're really not expensive. And this is kitchen string, I think. But you can use whatever you have on hand. I've used twine before. I've used string. I'm using this today because I couldn't find my twine. So I went to my kitchen drawer and I found my kitchen string. And hey, if this string can handle being cooked in an oven wrapped around a chicken, it can handle bean vines, no problem. And the sun, hold on, I'm going to bring you up so you can see the top part. It can handle bean vines with ease. All right, and then I'm not going to get fancy up here, but I will give myself some room. We're going to cut the tail off. Oop. And then we're going to do one extra one here and then wrap it around the top and knot it like you're tying your shoes. Come on this side. And this can handle, like, it handles the weather, it handles the vines climbing on it. It's pretty tough. All right, that is teepee number 2. Let's take a look. I think it looks great. That's teepee number 2. Let me show you my knot skills. All right, so that's the second teepee. That's going to be fun to have beans in 2 places this year. That's exciting. Okay, so when I went to get, what did I go up there to get? Oh yeah, bug spray. So when I went to get that, I counted my tomato plants, and I have 20. Now normally I plant 16 in this bed, 1 per square foot. And since I stake them, I prune them, that's never been an issue. But I can't fit 20. So I'm thinking of doing my usual 16 here, my cherry tomatoes, and putting the excess in 1/2 of this bed, where I was going to be doing half cucumbers and then half melon. But I think I'm going to put my melon plan to the side just because I think I have to come to terms with, I have been trying to grow melon for like 3 years now, in 2 different houses. I just it's not happening. I think I have to come to terms with that. So I'll grow the extra tomatoes instead, especially since I have them and they look healthy. You know what? I'm going to put you on the other side so you don't see my shadow. Let's see how this looks. And all I'm going to do is try to get my stakes in. So let me go get all those stakes. I'll bring them over here and then we'll get to town. Okay. I just brought all my stakes over here. I've got a stack of them right there. And we're going to start putting them in. So normally I don't necessarily do 1 stake per plant because they're cherry tomatoes. They're not super heavy. But we'll see how many I can get in. And I've got branches and wood at the bottom of this bed. So we're going to have to see how this works. And perfect world, sometimes it's solid, sometimes it's not. And I've got gravel underneath the bed, like they're open. That's not solid enough. I put 1 in and it was okay. You know what? Let me come on this side. I feel like I'm going to put 2. That's solid. All right. I feel like some are going to be easier than others. I'm going to go for it. So I'm going to put 1, 2. They're usually about 1 foot apart. Oh, that was good. That's another good one. Okay. I might ask my husband to come help me later, just to push these in better than I'm doing right now. Ah, that was a nice one. Okay. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I'll plant some. I'll attach more than 1 to the same stake if I need to. That's because they're not super heavy. They're cherry tomato plants and they don't get like super, super heavy. And that's going to be a marigold. So I'm going to come over here. That little spot there. Oh, wait. There we go. And I feel like the wood that we added to this bed last year in the bottom, there are branches and logs and whatnot, they've kind of broken down a little bit. Ooh, spider web from last year. Ah, well, that one went really far in. I'll leave it there. So it might be easier to get these in. Last year was tough. I asked my husband to help me. But this year's not going too bad. All right. Let's see. Some of my stakes are taller than others. Whoops. No, that's not going to stay. Just move it a little bit. Oh, that's a log. Oh, there we go. All right. Okay. And I like doing all of this prep work ahead of time. Whoop. So that when it comes time to planting and transplanting and seeding, I can do that in one day. So I spread out the work a little bit. I'll have my husband come out and put these in a little bit deeper. I feel like they're okay, but they shouldn't be leaning like some of them are. Ah, there we go. Good. And one more here. And then I'm going to add some stakes to the other bed. Yeah, there we go. That's pretty solid. No, that's leaning. It's solid though. I think I'm going to leave it, and then I might ask my husband just to come by and make them a little bit more solid. Okay, and now I have 2 metal stakes left. So what I do, let me explain to you how I plant my tomatoes. Okay, so let me step back and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so in this bed, it's 2 by 8. So I plant, hold on, where's my finger? I'll plant 8 along the front, 8 along the back, and whichever stake is closest to them, I'll start tying them up with, that green Velcro tape as they're growing. I'm just trying to eyeball if that's going to be okay. I think it's fine. And we're going to go plant a couple of stakes over here to plant my extra tomatoes. I'm going to see if I can use I'll use my last 2 metal ones, but I'm also going to use maybe some bamboos. We'll have to see. Let's see if I can get these in. I don't think I can in this one, just because we've never... Actually, that's not bad. Now, let me think about that. I'm going to be planting 4. That's 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. I'm going to be planting 4 here. I'm probably going to need 2 bamboos and 2 metal. I'll put 1 on this side and 1 on that side, and then do 2 bamboos in the other corners. All right, here we go. And I'll put 4. Because I hate to throw my extra tomato seedlings. Mind you, I could always give them away. But they all look so good. And because last year was not a great tomato year for me, I'm going to leave that like that. I feel like growing extra tomatoes this year will just make me feel better. All right, I'm going to go get some bamboo stakes. Bear with me, guys. And then I'm going to put one in here. Well, just let me hold it there for now. Let me start with this one. Oh, that was good. Maybe the bamboos are easier to put in here. That looks so solid compared to the metal ones. We'll have to see. And for this one, oh, there's something there. Come over. That's actually pretty solid. Okay. Next up, I have a little trellis that I was planning on using for the cucumbers. Let me bring it over here. I don't know if it's tall enough. I don't know the variety of cucumber. I have, what are they? One is Summer Dance. And, let's see, shoot, I don't remember. All right, so I have two little trellises, which I think we connect in the middle. I haven't used this one in ages. I might just need one. Let me see how this bends. There we go. And this goes down into the ground, into the soil. This little hook thing goes through these little feet. There we go. Does this one go? This one's already there. You know what? I'm just going to go for it. I'm going to try, and we'll see how it goes. I have another one like this, but I think one is plenty. I was planning on putting it there to have two halves, but I think I'm just going to do the one and keep this for another day. Okay, so let's see what we've got. We have some stakes for the tomatoes, my excess tomatoes, trellis for the cucumbers. I think it's a small variety. I'd have to double check. I don't think they're very huge vines, but I'm going to go with it. So that, we've got the tomato bed done. That's there with all my stakes. We've done the bean teepees. There's one over there, one over there, one over there, and we have the hoops on the strawberry bed. Now, the last thing I have to do here is go get the netting and the clips with the little stakes. I'm going to go do that. I'll set you up here and pause, and I'm going to go grab them because they're in the garage. I forgot them over there. Bear with me, guys. All right, I just grabbed, this is the netting that I'm going to be placing over the strawberry bed and attaching it on the sides with these metal stake things. And then these little clips is what I attach the mesh to the hoops with. So first thing, just pop these over there, is laying out this mesh. Hold on, I'm trying to put these clips somewhere. And the holes are, let me bring it up close so you can see it. It's a plastic net, and the holes are big enough so that pollinators can fly through. The other mesh that I have over there, over here, it's fine enough so that nothing can get through, no pests, but I never put anything in those that would require pollination. So what we're going to do, if I can get this untangled, let me just start with one end. Where's my end? Here's my end. All right. That is one end. This is my other end, I think. Bear with me, you guys. There we go. All right. So I basically just lie it down, leave a little bit on the end to tuck it, and like so. I do it rough to start and then I adjust it as I go. Okay. And then I just need to make sure I've got enough at the end here just to be able to tuck it in, tuck all the little plants in, and then clip the mesh to the roots, and then stake the sides down. Just make sure I've got extra on this side. And I do. Okay, so now we're going to clip. So once I'm happy that I have it, and you just clip it on. And I do about 2 per side, roughly. 2 per hoop, I mean. And it's rough, like it's just, doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to hold it in place. Just make sure I've got enough give. Yeah, that's right on this side. And last 2. And I had tried a bunch of different things for strawberries. I had tried cloches. I had tried all kinds of stuff. But I found this worked the best just because it gave the plants room to grow without, becoming an issue. All right, next thing, going around the base here and securing the mesh into the soil so that it creates like a little tunnel. Not a tunnel, but like nobody can sneak under it. And I haven't had any issues. Like no critter has gotten through. No birds have gotten caught in it. Like that was one of my main concerns, that birds might get stuck. You hear horror stories about that, but that's never happened, so that's good. I have extra here, so I'm just going to do a double loop. Okay. And then when it's time for, I messed up that one. When it's time for harvesting, I can just come by, lift one of the little stakes up, stick my hand underneath. Oops. I'm pulling up my own stakes. Lift my hand up, lift the netting up like this, and then harvest, and then tuck it back in. It's really easy. Trying not to impede the little baby plants that are there. Okay. Let's pick these all up and go to the other side. Whoops. All right. And I'll show you what I do on the end, because it's a little bit, not tedious, but yeah, like I've never had a critter like dig under and try to get into it. You know what? I'll do the end up here so you can see what I'm doing. Let me see if I'm close. No. Okay, let me come down super close so you can see. All right. So you see how this is kind of like loose? This whole, it's like an open tunnel, right? So what I do is just make sure you get in there, you guys. In there. I'll secure one end. And I'll do the same on this side. Just to make sure it's tight around this first hoop. And then I'll just gather it all. Although there's a lot of baby plants here, which is good, not complaining. Happy that they're here. Stay as long as you like. Oops, I forgot to grab a stake. All right. And then I'll hook it like up here and then grab the rest just to try to hold it in place. Whoops. All right, well, this is not gonna, that didn't go well. Here, let me bring some more. Although that's nice and secure there. But I should bring this piece here. And I basically just try to gather it all into one, with one stake. And attach it. It's not like there's a bird that's going to come in and like try to make its way. I can't even get in here, let alone a bird. So we're going to leave that like that. I'm going to secure the rest along the side here. And we'll be good to go. That's good. And there you. I might need to get an extra one. And here. And then I'll do my little gathering thing on this side too, which you probably can't see right now, but that's okay. I'm basically doing the same thing that I did on the other end. Just gathering everything into kind of like a loop, making sure all my plants are inside. And then I might do two on this side. And then just attaching it. And last one. There we go. I think we're good to go. I'm just going to do a quick walk about. Here, let's go take a quick look at what it looks like. All right. So that looks good. That looks good. This is a little loose here. Let's fix that. This is a little loose. Oh, it's because this one's coming up. Okay, hold on. What I'm going to do is gather this, make that tight, make this tight on that end, and just do that. That is good enough, I think. Is it? No, it's not. Let me loop it further along here. There we go. All right. Get in there, you. All right. I think we're good, guys. Strawberries are looking good this year. I'm excited. Look at all these little babies and all the blooms. Ooh, I should tuck these guys in. Are they in? Yeah, they're in. Sometimes I'll come out and some of the blooms will have peeked through the netting. Oh, look. This guy. We have an escapee. We have an escapee. Ooh, have to go in there, buddy. You too. There we go. All right. And I think think that's it, you guys. So now it's basically waiting until nights are over 10, and then I'll be transplanting tomatoes, transplanting the extra tomatoes there, putting marigolds pretty much everywhere in the garden, seeding cucumbers over there, seeding beans where our teepees are, there and there, and planting up the pots on the deck with the herbs. Some of them I'm doing from seed, some of them I'm doing, I have transplants that are hardening off up there on the deck. There's my finger, you can see them, they're up there in front of the patio door. And that's pretty much it, but at least this is done. I don't have to worry about doing the planting and all of this setup in the same day, and that just makes it easier just to, you know, spread the work out a little bit. And just because we're here, look at the plum tree, you guys. It's so pretty. And this is that grafted tree. There's like 4 different types of plum on this tree. I can't wait to see what happens this year, but it's doing really well. And the nectarine is pink. Look at this. I keep looking at it. I keep coming by every day. It's so pretty. Anyway, so I think we're done for today. And then next video will probably be transplanting and direct seeding the summer crops, which is exciting. I hope you guys are as excited as I am. The garden is finally looking like a garden again. There's stuff growing. It's green. So much promise. It's so exciting. Happy gardening, everybody.